Welcome back, Southwest Florida. She is taking Southwest Florida by storm. The Dynamo is here today. Get a chance to talk to Dominguez, the founder of Against All Odds. It's a local nonprofit that's doing some wonderful things. Let's bump you in, D. Welcome to Lead Pitch Live for the first time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a long time since I met you and I told you I wanted to be here.
Well, the time has arisen, you know.
Yes.
A lot goes on, but I was certainly focused in on making sure we get you on the show because you are doing such a great job in the community with your 15 jobs. How you take that joke?
And I'm not even Jamaican, so.
I love it. So, you know, a lot of people don't get that joke. I mean,
you have to be old school to know.
Yeah, you don't look old school. I didn't know that you were going to get that. You grew up seeing and living color and all of that?
Of course, yes.
Hey, you're like a little baby.
I'm going to be 45 next year.
Nobody believes that, do they?
Well, you know, when you are a grandmother of 8.
Really? A grandmother of 8? You serious?
I am. I started young. I had my first child at 15, my second child at 17, and then my third surprise, well, all three of them were surprised, to be honest, but my third baby at 24.
Okay.
So, you know, when you start early, this is what happens.
And then you now, I think you're a registered nurse?
I'm a registered nurse.
Okay, so I'm just assuming when you start off, you have children at a young age like that, you have a lot of odds to overcome against all odds.
Yes.
And then you pick yourself up and you get your diploma and you work your way through all that process. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, how you got to this point today.
So when I became pregnant at 15, I'm the oldest, the first girl in my family, and there was a lot of expectations. I was a very good student. I always said I wanted to be a lawyer. So when I got pregnant, my family was very disappointed, and I was told, you know, I ruined my life. I would never accomplish anything. I was just going to be on welfare like my mother. I was just going to be on Section 8 because we grew up in, you know, public housing, Section 8. So,
same here.
Yeah. So, you know, I knew that I didn't want that for my children. I just didn't know how I was going to make those changes. My husband and I, we're high school sweethearts. In January, we're going to be celebrating our 30-year anniversary. We both come from single-parent households, and we both wanted different for our then first son. So we just worked. We knew that we needed money to survive, so we worked. We worked very hard. We bought our first home when we were in our 20s. Our second home, mid-20s. Then from there, we just been working and working. I was a stay-at-home mom and worked part-time jobs to help financially, but my husband always had 2-3 jobs.
And you're not Jamaican.
I'm not Jamaican. I'm actually Dominican, very proud. My husband is Dominican as well.
Puerto Plata.
You've been, huh? So no, we just worked very hard, you know, to provide for our children. I was focused on being a mom and being a wife. I thought that was my purpose, you know. I didn't want my kids to grow up in daycares. As a matter of fact, my older son got kicked out of 3 daycares because he was very hyper. So I just focused on that. And then at the age of 35, I got diagnosed with uterine cancer. And I was a CNA. I was a nurse assistant at the hospital. And I got sick, and that diagnosis changed my life because I felt like if I was to leave right now, what have I accomplished? And yes, I was a mom. I would like to say that I was a good mom or a great mom. My kids will attest to that. But I wanted to be more than that. I felt that God had a bigger purpose for me. After my surgeries and I was cleared, I decided to go to school to become a nurse. And I graduated when I turned 40. Outstanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And your story is a story that many people can be inspired by. You also been involved in authoring a book.
Yes.
The book is Slaying Southwest Florida.
Yes.
A bunch of women got together and slayed Southwest Florida, I would say.
So when I graduated, I got my GED from LAMP. It's now called YPEP. It is a school for teen parents. When I graduated, God put in my heart to go back to the school and just talk to the young ladies there. When I left there, I knew that was my purpose. I knew that I had to do something in the community to help these young parents not go through all the hurdles that I went through. Share my story. And what better way to share my story but with a book? I'm not an author. I mean, I wasn't an author. I don't know. Again, I'm a mom, a nurse, a wife. what do I know about running a nonprofit or writing a book, right? So I started going to these women empowerment events and started meeting different women in the community. I spoke to my pastor, I registered my nonprofit, and then I had my first event, and I reached out to women, and everybody welcomed me, and I had amazing women come and speak at my event, and from there I got to meet more people. And Slay in Southwest Florida is a compilation of 20 women in the community in Lee County that either have a nonprofit, have businesses, and we all just share our story. Because
people should go out and get that book off Amazon?
Amazon and Barnes & Nobles.
Who's the audience for that book?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. There's 20 different women from 20 different backgrounds with 20 completely different stories. Somebody can relate to something.
Let's go to Against All Odds, your nonprofit.
Yes.
What is it? What is it about? What is it doing?
It's still a baby. I'm learning. This whole nonprofit world is not easy. You know, I do have to work a full-time job because nonprofit doesn't pay. I was blessed enough to meet Mr. Muhammad from the Quality Life Center, and he opened his doors to me at the Q. I will forever be grateful to him. Every time I talk to him, I feel like I can conquer the world.
Abdul Haq
Yes.
Muhammad, my good friend.
Yes.
Shout out Abdul Haq.
Yes. So when I first started, he got me a job. He hired me at the Quality Life Center, and I was a teen mentor. None of the teen theirs are pregnant, but if I can get them before they get pregnant, that's even better, right? So Against All Odds is basically a mentorship program for teen parents and preventing teen pregnancy.
I see.
I have workshops that I have created that I can give to young high school students and middle schoolers about 101 ways to show affection without having sex. In some occasions, I can do birth control, like, you know, depends on the audience. It depends. Like for my church, it was abstinence, you know, because we can't bring condoms and stuff to church. But I can tell them, you know, you can show love without being physical. You can, there's different things that you can do. So I have different workshops that I can present to our community.
Okay, so you're without walls. You're not in a physical location.
Not yet.
People can reach out to you from that information that we have on the screen.
Yes.
And invite you out, and then you can custom make things to what they want. Now, based on what you're saying, well, let me make sure your workshops, your Against the Odds education is for males and females?
Yes, sir. Right now, they changed the name of LAMP because they have male students too. They have fathers, which is amazing because when I was going, it was just moms.
Right.
I like the fact that I'm seeing that now young parents are also being involved in the education process, in the kids' lives. I do one event a year.
You say young parents, you mean young men?
Young men.
Right,
yes.
go ahead.
I do one event a year where I raise scholarships to give to these teen parents. This year I was able to raise 4 scholarships, $500 each.
Okay.
3 of them are going to 3 of the girls at our mother's home, and 1 of them is going to a teen mom at YPEP. The qualifications, basically all they had to do was write a 500-word essay, submit it, and say what it's for. I call it scholarship/living expense because let's be real, some of these teens are 14, 15, 16-year-old. They're still in high school. They're not necessarily in college right now. Our mother's home, those are teens that are in the foster care system. So the check is written out to our mother's home and they help them administer it. Last year, one of the recipients, she was actually in school, so I took the check to the school and helped
Is
her.
our mother's home still out in the Cape?
No.
If I'm not mistaken, no.
No, that was Lifeline.
Okay.
Now it's called Thrive.
Okay. That was our mother's home that Karen Watson used to head up Watson
Yes.
a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tashika
So
Perry
our
used to be
mother's
over there
home,
doing
Alicia Miller is the director
it.
now.
New director, right.
They're building a house here, not too far from here.
Okay.
They're moving from San Carlos Park to here to Fort Myers.
Okay. Let's go to some memorable experience. Well, 2 things. One, I think that your background uniquely qualifies you to be more sensitive and more in-depth in understanding what people are actually facing in the real world, especially these young ladies. I think
Yes.
that's just an amazing thing to have a person like you in our community who bring your experience to that moment.
Yes.
2 is, tell us about a memorable experience, how you were able to impact a young person's life that stands out to you right now?
The young lady that received, one of the young ladies that received one of the scholarships last year, she was actually 19 years old, lived by herself in her own apartment with her son, and she was struggling. She was struggling in today's economy, and when I took the check to the school and she got that and we met in person, her crying and saying that just $500.
Right.
Just $500 made such a difference to her. And people don't understand, and I say just $500 because for some people $500
That's a lot of money.
You know, it's a lot of money, and for some people it's not, you know? But just to think that there's an amount, a number that made such a big difference, and her crying about it, that to me, but one of the biggest memories that impacted me was when I did go back to LAMP, fresh out of graduating nursing school, and I shared my testimony and my story, and I told them, 27 years I was sitting in the same chair that you're sitting right now. And they all looked at me like I was something out of this world, and I'm not. And I want them to understand that somebody told me that I would never amount to anything. Somebody told me that I had ruined my life. But I'm standing here. My kids, all three of my kids are grown now. All I wanted was for my kids to be good, productive citizens, right? That's all I wanted. And they are. And they're more than that, thank God, with God's grace. So I don't want them to think and see pregnancy or having a child that if we could prevent it, obviously that's the best route. I always tell my kids at the queue, you know, adulthood is very ghetto. You don't want to go there. And if you have a kid, it's even more hard. So even more hard. Again, I try to relate to them, and I speak in a way that they can understand. And I always share my background and my testimony because that's how we build that bond. Yeah.
I want you to take a look into that camera right there.
Yes.
And take about a minute or so and look right into a person's eyes who's looking at you on television, and say something encouraging words like for 2024 on how they can look to the hills and a bright future.
Okay. Well, my advice to any young adult, any teen, any young adult is to have balance in your life. For me personally, I know not everybody's religious, but having faith and having belief in something. Because when you don't believe in anything, how can you have goals? How can you have aspirations? For me, what has led me to where I am now is hard work. Nothing is ever given to anybody. If it's free, it's probably not good. But hard work, perseverance, faith, and just determination and believing in yourself. People in this world will tell you that you can't accomplish something. People will always be telling you what you can't do. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I woke up today. I can do whatever I put my mind to. And my grandmother used to say, everything in life has a solution. The only thing that doesn't have a solution is death. So if you wake up in the morning, anything is possible.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Her website is againstallodds.international.org. Be sure to connect with this dynamo. As you can see, she will come out and make a difference in the community. Dee, what's the long term? What are you looking at in the long term? What do you hope in the next 5 years you can get accomplished?
I am hoping the ideal thing will be for me to be able to have a center for teen parents to go and get basic life skills and resources in the community. Okay. That will be my dream come true. I want to get a chance for you to use your Spanish. I'm assuming you can speak a little Spanish. I can. Spanish is my first language.
All right. So go ahead and reach out to people and encourage them to get in touch with you using Spanish as well.
You want me to look at you or the camera?
Yeah, just say it.
Okay. A mi comunidad latina, quisiera decirles que por favor vayan a mi página web que es againstallodds.international.org. Mi asociación es para el beneficio de todos los adolescentes que son padres a temprana edad, y yo soy una representante de esa comunidad y tengo todo el valor y quiero ayudar a mi comunidad.
Whatever she said, I agree with it. And shout out to the DR, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Plata,
I like Samaná better,
I
but
love
okay.
it around there. Keep up the good work, and
Thank
encourage people also to find out more. Go out there and get that book as well.
Yes, Slaying Southwest Florida, like I said, is a compilation of 20 women with all different backgrounds, all 20 different stories. Mine is of how I went from being a teen parent that was told I would never amount to anything to now I'm a registered nurse, nonprofit organization founder. I also do speaking engagements. I own a couple of rental properties. So again, don't let people tell you that you can't accomplish things.
All right, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Remember, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like this dynamo who is doing it. And Miami might have the oranges, but against all odds has got the
Juice.
Got the juice. Let's bump you out.
Hey.
We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show. And if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.